Oh, shit. Shit. Fuck. Shit, fuck. This movie's a pile of shit. Fuck. Okay, what movie am I talking about? As you can see, the title down or below or whatever. This movie could blow me. This movie is Cannibal Terror, which is a 1981 or 1980. It's a 1980 film listed on IMDb. It's a French horror movie, and I'm putting it in air quotes because it's barely even a horror film. It's a horrible film. I wouldn't really call it a horror movie though. Because most of the fucking plot is just a stupid bunch of kidnappers, a bunch of fucking criminals who fucking hide out in a friend's house in the fucking jungle. That's pretty. And then there happens to be cannibals next door or nearby. That's as close as you get to the terror in Cannibal Terror, is the stuff with the cannibals. Who every once in a while might show up and like gut somebody and eat their guts. Or engage in laughably inept sequences of supposed action or suspense, where they're shooting arrows or throwing spears at people, and completely not hitting their targets, hitting somebody in the shoulder, and I guess it's a fatal blow. Or throwing a spear at them and it completely misses the target. And the guy just falls over dead. This film is directed by Alain Deruelle, who who gave him fucking money, who gave him a camera, who the hell does he think he is? Did he really think that he's a director? He just pick up a camera and just point and shoot, and he's a director. He's making movies. I highly doubt this guy ever went to any sort of film school at all. Or anything. Because this direction sucks. It's like the rest of the movie. This film, folks, set a new low for me. A new low. It set a new bar for shit. For cinematic excrement. This is one of the worst films ever made. It gets a 2.2 out of 10 on IMDb. Why does it get a 2.2? Where does the 2.2 come from? That's way too high. That's way too fucking high for this movie. Doesn't get anything from me because there's not a single thing about this movie that is good. Everything about this movie is awful. Every aspect of the production is terrible. It's shockingly awful. It's a shockingly bad movie. So, Alain Deruelle delivers flat, limp dick direction. It's written by 3 writers. One of them is an uncredited Jesus Franco. Oh, great, Jesus Franco. Fuck, Jesus fucking Christ, Jesus Franco, who's written and directed some of the worst films I've personally seen. So he's of course this movie sucks because he's involved with it. It took 2 writers and an uncredited writer to write this script. What script? What fucking script? There's no script here. There's no plot. There's no nothing. This movie is pointless. It's so fucking pointless. It's just aggravating! Because it's a waste of fucking space. It's a waste of your brain cells. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of actors. It's a waste. It's just waste. Period. It's just a fucking waste. Ah! 3 writers. I can't believe it. The screenplay, there's no cohesion. There's no structure to it. I swear to God, it's just a bunch of random fucking scenes and random fucking lines of dialogue. You might as well have just taken a can of alphabet soup, popped it open, and just dumped out the contents, and whatever fell out, that's your screenplay. That's your script for Cannibal Terror. It stars Silvia Solar, Pamela Stanford, Olivier Mathot, and Antonia Mayans. Mayans. And he plays Mario, a character named Mario, who has no other character traits other than he's a fucking rapist. So, this film starts off right from the opening credits, with a wet fart. Because you're just like, okay, what the fuck? This is a movie called Cannibal Terror, folks. And this is what the score soundtrack sounds like. Alright, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. Really? That's your opening titles! I know Cannibal Holocaust had a score that was different. You wouldn't think would be something that would be fitting for a film called Cannibal Holocaust. But Cannibal Terror has a score. It's like calypso music or some shit. Sounds like something from Captain Ron. Sounds like the opening credits of Club Paradise. It's probably, I mean, that's probably not what they sound like, but I'm just saying. It sounds like something you might hear from the soundtracks for Club Paradise, not for Cannibal Terror. Do, 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 do. This movie sucks. It's a piece of shit. Wow. Right from the beginning. It's just shit. Okay? And then this continues, folks. Because throughout the entire movie, the score is inappropriate. It doesn't fit the film. And then there's a long stretch of the film where they just play a 30-second piano riff over and over and over again. Like it's some shitty Nintendo game that only had like one little bit of music that they play over and over again. So, this is a winner. It totally is. It's a fucking Oscar-winning masterpiece. So, then you get introduced to the characters, which are these fucking assholes who are sitting around by the docks, and one guy's trying to get into, he's trying to break into a boat, and he's having a hard time, so his partner is giving him shit, like, what the hell, you son of a bitch, you don't know how to open the door? And it was just like, and this type of dialogue, this wonderful type of dialogue continues. I know I swear in my videos, I swear like a fucking sailor in a lot of my rant videos, but that's because these movies piss me the fuck off. They're so terrible and shitty that I can't control myself. But if it was just real life, if I'm just hanging out doing whatever, you know, out and about and you know, just in wherever, I'm not gonna be like, oh, fuck this and fuck that, you son of a bitch, shit. And that's what a lot of the dialogue is. I guess I really do think that Rob Zombie must be a really big fan of this. I wonder if Rob Zombie's a big fan of Cannibal Terror. It would make sense. Sounds like it has all the hallmarks of his wonderful screenwriting, with all the with all the characters in the movie seeming to say, you know, the word fuck or shit or son of a bitch, and like every other word and every sentence they say, they have to throw in a swear word. Because I guess the French, for some reason, think that every American is just a swearing, you know, just swears all the time, even without any context. I guess so. All right, whatever. And the only enjoyment I got out of this movie is enjoyment that I made. I had to create out of thin air for myself, which is with these really terribly bad English translations for the dubbing, which is also really bad. This one has some of the worst dubbing I have ever seen or heard. They even have an adult dub a little girl. Literally, they have I think it was just a guy acting like he's a girl, like, "Mommy! Oh! I dropped my dolly! Wah!" I'm not kidding. That's really how bad the dubbing is. And the dubbing is it's not only awful by everyone involved who's dubbing these actors and dubbing these characters, but it's also it doesn't match their it doesn't match their lips. So their lips, what's coming out of their mouths doesn't match what they're fucking saying. It's so bad. And so these group of kidnappers, which this is like the first 20 minutes or so, folks. And this movie is so boring and so fucking pointless and pitbull that I literally stopped it like 5 or 6 times to check where I was at in the running time. And every time it was, I could not believe that only such a short amount of time had passed because it felt like eternity. It felt like eternity. There's a stretch of this film, it was like 9 minutes, that felt like it was an hour. I mean, folks, you'd be better off sticking your own hand up your ass than watching Cannibal Terror. Because then at least you might find the sweet spot. And then you probably would get some sort of pleasure out of it. Which you get none from watching this movie. None at all. None whatsoever. And you definitely would not be bored. I guarantee if you spent your time trying to pleasure yourself by fisting yourself, you would definitely not be bored. Which is, I guarantee you will be if you watch this movie. So, the first 20 minutes are just a bunch of fucking asshole kidnappers who decide to kidnap this rich guy's daughter. And it's so scintillating. It's so exciting. And I had to admit, I did chuckle at this moment of ineptitude where they're in the bar and they're contemplating about what they're gonna do, and one of the guys is talking to the female, member of the group, and he's all like, "Oh yeah, yeah, flippity floppity boobs, and it needs to be lifted, and that takes moolah." What? Flippity floppity boobs? Flippity floppity boobs! Flippity floppity boobs! Bippity boppity boo! Bippity boppity boobs! Flippity floppity boobs! Bippity boppity boo! Bippity boppity boobs! Flippity floppity boobs! I couldn't help that. But that's because it was terrible. That's not a pro. That's not something that's in this film's favor. It's just a nonsense line of dialogue. And then it continues where he's giving her shit and he's like saying he's mad or something, and he says like "my ass," and then she's like, "My ass, go fuck yourself." Literally, that's what she says. Doesn't make any. They're just like, "My ass, go fuck yourself." That's pretty much how I feel about this movie. My ass, go fuck yourself! Cannibal Terror. So after the first 20 minutes, nothing happens. You just introduce these fucking asshole kidnappers who terrible acting by everyone around, shitty dubbing, and they kidnap the little girl, and then they go to the jungle somewhere, but before they go to the jungle, they meet up with this girl named Mickey, and Mickey leads them to this area somewhere. She gets kidnapped by these random bunch of Indians, cannibals, that come out of the reeds somewhere and just drag her away. And while she's being dragged away, she's like, "No! No! 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 And that's exactly how I feel about this movie. Like, do you want to watch Cannibal Terror? No! 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 So she gets dragged away, and then she gets basically gutted by these primitives, like these cannibals. And all these cannibals are just like people that just found off the street and just put fucking finger paints on their face. It's so cheap. It's so cheap. It's so pathetic and lame. And so this sequence lasts way too long. And this is like the little bit of gore you get. He takes a knife, cuts her stomach open, but it's completely anatomically incorrect. He's pulling out the entire contents of a butcher shop out of her stomach like it's some twisted magic trick, and they're going nom nom nom. And then there's even a scene where the director, there's one of the cannibals. They're not even eating anything. They're eating the air, and the director just still shot that, where one of the cannibals are clearly, while he's doing a close-up, are going, I. Speaking of eating, this movie can eat me! Anyway, I said, eat my dick! Suck it long, and suck it hard, and suck it dry. You piece of shit. But anyway, so yeah, you have the whole thing where the really long, boring scene where they're eating some guts, and for some reason the director and the editor, and the editing in this is absolutely egregious as well. It's unbelievably terrible. There are times where it literally looks like the editor just died or something, and somebody else came in and took over. There's a scene where it literally goes out. It fucking goes out like a pinwheel. You know, where you have that whole thing on a Looney Tunes cartoon where it's like, blah, 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 that's all, folks. Yeah, they do that. They do that in one edit. There's multiple instances where it looks like the film just stopped, and then they just fade to black awkwardly. So while there's this long ass gut eating sequence happening, for some reason the camera cuts to a shitty looking skull on the wall multiple times, like 5 or 6 times. This is pretty much how the scene kind of goes, folks. It's these are delicious guts. Skull, 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 num 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 num. The same shitty looking skull. Num 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 num. Under the skull again. What the fuck is up with the skull? What is this? Why are you showing me this skull 5 or 6 times? Why? What is the fucking point to it? It's just padding to pad the film's running time. There's not enough substance to this fucking plot and to this story that can actually fill an hour-and-a-half movie, so they have to literally throw in just fucking filler. Throw in padding shit, like multiple cutaways to a fucking shitty-looking skull. And maybe they had that, maybe they did that because the director and the writers were like, hey, it's a horror movie. We need to have horror things in our horror film. We need to scare people. So, ooh, it's a skull. It's so scary. Boot my balls, movie! Boot my balls! Well, you already are anyway, so I shouldn't have to ask you to kick me in the nuts, because you already are. So, yeah, that sequence is great. Mickey dies. Mickey gets eaten to death. And then the fucking kidnappers with the little girl, they go in, find some guy, some friend they know, at his place over somewhere, and in the jungle. And I swear to God, this director has an exotic bird fetish. There's like 10 or so fucking shots of these exotic birds, like a parrot, a macaw, and he shoots. They're always almost in every shot. And the film is so cheap and so incompetently made, folks, that They didn't even bother to fix the fucking mic because you can hear feedback noise throughout majority of the film. And then there's scenes where for some reason the director thought he needed to have fucking hissing in the background, but it doesn't really sound like hissing. You don't even know where it comes from. This is all you hear. You just see scenes of natives like hiding out in the bushes, and you hear I'm like, what the fuck is that? Are you getting ready to hawk a loogie on the audience? Is that it? Stupid. Or did the director fall the fuck asleep and he's sleep directing this movie? Might as well be. Fucking looks like he's sleepwalking through it. So the sequence at this friend's house, and one of the kidnapper guys, pretty much just he can basically insults the guy. He's like, "Shut the fuck up, do your job," and then the guy's like, "Okay." He didn't even do anything. He didn't even have any sort of resistance. So he should have had more resistance because his daughter or whatever is there, and then we get a fucking rape scene where this fucking asshole. Well, of course, before we see that, we get some nudity. This girl just starts stripping and bathing, and she just starts stripping and bathing naked. Some creeper guy, one of the kidnapper guys, watching her, and then you might as well play Sting's, might as well play the Police's song, "Every Breath You Take" in the background. Every breath you take, every move you make, every step you take, every bond you break, I'll be watching you. So anyway. So the creeper guy sees her. She runs away. He grabs some rope and then ties her to a tree and starts raping her. And since this movie was so boring and was just killing my brain cells and it was driving me insane by its sheer stupidity and awfulness, I literally just had to make crazy shit up in order to entertain myself. And this is an example of the kind of things that I made up in my head in order to entertain myself here. The guy's name is Mario, and so I just imagined, what if it was Mario from Super Mario Brothers raping this chick? And so I thought, what would that sound like? And this is this is messed up, and forgive me, folks, if this disturbs you at all. But I had to do something. This movie's so bad. I had to do something to keep myself awake. So this is what I'm talking about by inventing ways to entertain myself. So this is how I envisioned a sequence like this would go if it was Mario from Super Mario Brothers who's raping this poor woman. Oh, it's me, Mario. I'm going to take this rope and I'm going to tie you to this tree and I'm going to rape you. Oh, ah, oh, ah, oh, oh, ah, oh, ah, oh, ah, ah, oh, oh, ah, ah. I'm sorry, forgive me, but it's fucking Mario. So Mario fucking rapes this chick, and this is another example of how bad the editing is in this movie. So he's raping this chick. He tied her to a tree. He's raping her, and then this rape scene cuts randomly to just a scene where there's this fucking guy in a hat playing a guitar, and then this one of the girl in the group has the hots for him, and then so you have the rape scene, and then you have what the fuck? And then, because the director has an exotic bird fetish, the macaw is like right there. While the guy puts the guitar down, the guy in the straw hat is making out with the other chick, And the macaw's right there. And they actually almost knocked the macaw over. But when the macaw doesn't fly away, the macaw like gets back up, and I kid you not, it looks like he starts watching. He starts watching them have sex. I'm like, because he likes to watch. Because the bird likes to watch. Polly, what a fucker! Polly, what a fucker! Polly, what a fucker! Polly, what a fucker! I swear, this director has an exotic bird fetish. He wants to fuck the birds. He wants to make some feathers fly. So you have that, and then they have like a party later, and it's terrible. The dubbing is so bad. They're supposed to act like they're having fun, and it sounds like they're being tortured. They're going like, ah, 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 oh, ah. Oh God. And then pretty much not much happens. The fucking asshole guy who raped the chick gets his comeuppance. He gets trapped by the friend of his shows up and ties his ass to a tree, and the cannibals get him. It's not much. And then the dad, the father of the daughter who was kidnapped, he just finds out where she is, well, just easily. He gets a phone call. He's like, I found her. He calls some guy. I found her. She's in the jungle. Just like old times. Just like old times? What? Has your daughter been kidnapped and kept in the jungle before? And this just makes one semblance of the plot utterly pointless. Wow. They fucking kidnapped this rich guy's daughter for no fucking reason because he finds out where she is really easily. They didn't even ask for a ransom either. So then he goes in, then he flies over somewhere. And this film also has a lot of stock footage. Like, just stock footage of or just fucking nature footage. Because you have monkeys and birds and shots of just a random alligator, caiman, or whatever, crocodile in the fucking river. I mean, I swear to God, there's a lot of times in this movie, I swear, I feel like I'm watching the Animal Planet. Just random shots of animals, or reptiles, or birds. So, in order to pad the running time. And this moment is one of the other few moments that I laughed my ass off because it was so tone deaf. So here comes the rich guy, and he's going through customs to try to get permission to go into the country so he could find his daughter. I'm just cracking up just thinking about this. He starts giving the guy shit. The guy's like, your stamp is expired. What do you mean? It's just, you owe this shit over a stamp? And he's like, yes. Can't you make something? Would you work something out? No, it's impossible. 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 It says impossible like 3 times. So what? You need to add another impossible there just to hammer the point home a little bit more? And if that wasn't bad enough, then comes this absolute gem. Where, alright, it seems like the rich guy's had enough of this guy's shit, and he literally just out of nowhere, this is totally unpredictable, folks. He just out of nowhere says this. You cunt! Just like, oh! Holy shit! He called him a C-U-N-T. Oh, snap. And it's... You would think after this guy calls the customs guy who's just doing his job a cunt, that the guy would like call security or something, or have this guy arrested or taken out of the building. But no, that's not what happens. He lets him through. He lets him through. So, folks, next time you go to another country and you're having some problems with your visa or your passport, like it might be expired or you need another stamp, call the guy at the table, call the clerk a cunt, and everything will work out. Everything will work out fine. he'll pass you right on through. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. So, then you get basically the last half of the movie, which fucking drags on forever. Where the criminal guys, now they get away from the guy's place, and now they're being chased. Well, chased is exaggerating things here. They're being watched by these cannibals, and literally, there's just 10 minutes of just these characters walking through the jungle or the forest or whatever the fuck it is, just walking through the jungle. There's no music either. It's just fucking walking through the jungle, and there's these natives who are just watching them through the fucking bushes. There's 10 minutes of this shit. Nothing happens. Nothing happens here at all. Just fucking watching and walking. And then eventually they end up getting led to the tribe, and the cannibals eat one of they shoot arrows, kill one guy, and then they go after the other remaining people in the group and kill the rest of them. And they have their ritual, and literally the people who are playing the cannibals look like they're bored out of their goddamn mind, or they're embarrassed to even be there, and I don't blame them. And they do this dance, where I guess it's supposed to be a ritual dance, but I swear it looks like they're doing the pee-pee dance. They're going around like, ay, 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 and their legs are like moving around like they need to take a long, hard piss. And speaking of piss, I like to take a piss all over this movie. Alright? And I like to write, instead of writing my name in piss on this film, I like to write the letters Fuckyou. Fuck you, Cannibal Terror. Fuck you. In piss. So, anyway, what happened? How does the film end? Okay, the gangster fucking wannabes, fucking stupid asshole kidnappers, they get eaten or dead or whatever. Who the fuck cares? You see they reuse the same footage from earlier that was so great of the gut munching from earlier in the movie, and then the mother is reunited with her daughter because her daddy helped get her. But really, he didn't have to. I guess the cannibals didn't do anything with the daughter; just left her alone. And then the daughter's reunited with her mother, and we get that stupid calypso music from the opening credits, and the movie's over. And I thank God, and I'm like, oh, thank you, Lord, thank you for ending my misery. Wow, just wow. Holy shit. Shit. Fuck. Holy shit, fuck. Wow, this is bad. Let's do a rundown, shall we? Before I end this. Of everything that's wrong with this movie. Okay? Let's look at every aspect of the production. And I'll give you a rundown and a tally of everything that sucks about this film. Everything it does wrong. Okay, the direction is bad. It's flat. It has no dynamic to it. It's just a point and shoot. It's very generic, very lame, very pedestrian, very half-assed. The writing is just as half-assed, if not even more so. I can't believe it took 2 writers to write this shit. And an uncredited Jesus Franco. The editing is horrendous. There's a scene where it looks like one of the natives is getting shot by some guy, and the whole movie fades to black. So I literally thought he shot the movie. I wish he did. I wish he shot the movie dead. Right in the head. Shot in the head till it's dead. The music is horrible. It either doesn't fit the film, or it's just the same fucking loop repeated over and over again. The acting is atrocious. It's atrocious acting. It's awful. There's not a single actor in this film that even acts. I mean, they're just there. And the director couldn't find anybody else. So he just took people off the street and said, here's a fucking movie you can be in. The dubbing is absolutely disastrous. They say things that don't match their lips. And it doesn't make any sense half the time why they're acting the way that they are, because the person who translated all this English dialogue is fucking tone deaf. The effects are terrible. They look cheap. They look fake. It's not really a horror film. It's just a horrible movie because it's not scary. And there's only a little bit of the stuff with the cannibals eating some guts and maybe a little bit of blood and the fucking multiple shots of the same stupid, shitty looking plastic skull. But other than that, it's not a horror film. The bare minimum, I would have to say. It's mostly a shitty, boring kidnapping movie. And that's another thing. It's boring. The pacing is so sluggish. It feels like you are in quicksand while watching this movie. You're watching this movie and you're sinking. And you're like, help me, please. Somebody throw me a line. Somebody throw me something to get me out of this muck. But nothing ever happens. No help ever comes. So yeah, every aspect of this movie is a total fail at. It totally fails every aspect of film production. I mean, Alien Dead is bad, but at least I can laugh at that. Consistently. Laugh at it with my friends. Alien 2 on Earth is bad, but there's some decent bits of gore, and I honestly thought it was better paced than this. At least it had some semblance of a story. Something. Wasn't much, but at least it was something. This doesn't have a story. It's just a bunch of kidnappers kidnap some rich guy's daughter, go to the fucking jungle because I guess a friend of theirs happens to be there. There's a fucking stupid rape scene. Then, the other girl that they met with a guy, she gets eaten, her guts get eaten. And then the father finds out really easily, in like 2 fucking seconds, where his daughter is. Flies over, calls the guy at the fucking desk, traveler's desk or whatever, a fucking CUNT, and then gets passed through. And then you have a fucking scene of watching and walking through the fucking jungle. And then the natives throw some spears and shoot some arrows that don't do much shit. And then maybe kill one guy. And then the rest of the burglars or kidnappers get fucking eaten off screen or just killed. Who fucking cares? You got the main guy, his head is supposed to be severed, but it's literally just the actor's head poking out of a table with some white face paint on. And then the daughter is reunited with the mom and dad, and the movie ends. That's all the movie is. Watch the trailer. You've seen the movie. Trust me, folks. Don't, and regardless, after the trailer, don't even watch the movie. Don't watch this for free. Don't even watch it for free. See, it's giving me indigestion. It makes me physically ill. I want to throw up. I just want to puke. And now my fucking sinuses are acting up. This movie just makes me feel bad. Because it's that bad. Yeah, don't watch this movie. Avoid it at all costs, as if your life depends on it. Don't even watch it for free. Just don't watch it, period. It's not worth it. You'd be better off dipping your dick or your CUNT into a vat of sulfuric acid than watching Cannibal Terror. Trust me, it's not worth it. Anyway, I don't know what else to say about this movie. I can't believe I ranted on this for almost 40 fucking minutes. But anyway, I don't know what else to say about it, except there's a rate out of 5 stars. It gets nothing. It gets a goose egg. It gets a 0. It gets nothing. It gets a fucking cornhole. It gets a fucking spear shoved up its fucking ass. Fuck this movie.